Start spreading the news. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday, October the 9th edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium, and I am a fan of the American League Championship Series bound Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 5-1 last night to advance to the American League Championship Series for the first time since 2016. That team didn't have too much of a chance to win it. The 2015 team did. Lots of good memories about the 2015 team. 2016 team, pretty much was similar. It was close. But this 2025 Blue Jays team, man, I got a lot to say. That's what I'm going to be talking about this morning. I do have 3 picks. 3 bets. If you're here for bets, you can skip. I've got a bet for Thursday Night Football between the Eagles and the Giants. I've got a bet for the Phillies and the Dodgers. And I've got a bet for the Nashville Predators in the National Hockey League. But, as I've said before, if this is going to be my show, how do I not talk about the Toronto Blue Jays? I got on my soapbox here yesterday and I said, I stupidly fell for the media narrative. I've watched this team all season long. I know how this team plays. I know what makes this team tick. And the bullpen has been nerve-wracking. It's been scary. Jeff Hoffman has been, walked a million guys. And it wasn't perfect last night, but I fell into this fate and call it the Toronto pessimism, which we're used to. Toronto doesn't win these big games, okay? There was the bat flip. Keep in mind the bat flip that was 10 years ago. That was in the first round, right? Yes, the Raptors won the championship, and thank you, Kawhi Leonard, for that. We will never, ever forget that. But typically speaking, when it's the Jays or the Leafs, they put themselves in a position like, let's remember last year in round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Leafs are up 2-0 against the Florida Panthers. They're up 3-1 in the third period against that Panthers team, and they lose the series. So, I can be pessimistic about that. Going into last night, I thought, Bieber didn't pitch long enough. The bullpen's been taxed. How are they going to do this? It was a masterclass of coaching by John Schneider and Pete Walker. It was luck. But this team, to steal a line from Trey Savage, is built different. And you can call me biased all you want, of course, and I accept, yes. But I've also watched a hell of a lot of baseball over the last 35 years. I've watched every single postseason game this season, or listened to it in the background. It's been on. I've watched it. And the thing that impressed me is their mentality is different this year. This isn't the scared team that's getting thrown out on second base. This team is ready to go. It's the perfect mixture of youth and experience. It's the perfect mixture of defense and pitching. And what I was impressed by last night was after game 3, and they had all those defensive blunders, and they didn't seem to know what they're doing, you could tell that Jimenez became, I'm sure he already was, but he was the leader of that infield. And he took balls that Barger could have caught, and he took over. He had that role. In the dugout, you see Springer, even though he hasn't been playing well in this series, had a pretty good game last night, hasn't been playing well. He's being that veteran presence. Max Scherzer, who isn't even on the playoff roster. Bassett, Bichette, guys who aren't directly involved with the game are involved with the game. And they went into Yankee Stadium, and Yankees lose. They beat the New York Yankees, and it's this weird, almost like, not anticlimactic, but it's like that was only the second round, the Jays' first series. They have the Tigers or the Mariners coming up in the ALCS. Do I have a preference? Not really. The Mariners lineup scares me a little bit more with Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. The Detroit Tigers pitching staff scares me a little bit more. Perhaps an underrated thing is the travel. You have potentially, like purely hypothetical here, the Jays traveling to Seattle and then to LA back and forth. Or they travel to Detroit and Philadelphia back and forth. Like, which one would you rather have for both teams, really? But having said all that, unbelievable series. The first time the Blue Jays have ever had a playoff series in Yankee Stadium, and they went in there in a bullpen game against the best offense in baseball, and they gave up 1 run, and they move on. So, great feeling. I don't know. There's nothing quite like baseball in the playoffs because there's just so much time to get stressed out. In a hockey game, it's back and forth. You don't have that. You're on the edge of your seat, but you don't have that time to think. Baseball is nothing but time to think. So, shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays, man. Been a fan since my first day of school of kindergarten when I was 5 years old. I wore a head-to-toe Blue Jays, essentially a costume. Blue Jays jersey, Blue Jays hat, Blue Jays jacket, and blue pants. Down since day one. Let's talk about some bets. We've got Thursday Night Football tonight, the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. This number is 7.5 at a lot of places. I got a 7, so go get that before it gets off the board and take the Philadelphia Eagles -7. I got it at Bet365. Shop around. 7.5 I don't love. 7 I love because of that push potential. So here's a quick preview of my bet. If you're watching, if you're listening, well, you're just going to have to keep on listening. Philadelphia Eagles -7 for -115. The Eagles are coming off their first loss of the season. They lost 21-17 last week to Denver. That game was in Philadelphia. So now they go on the road to New York, and I think they're going to be a little bit angry. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be angry. I think the coaching staff's going to be angry. And I think former New York Giant Saquon Barkley is going to be a little bit angry. The Eagles hadn't lost in a while. And they've also covered the spread in 7 of their last 10 games, including the Super Bowl. Then you've got the New York Football Giants. Jackson Dart had that great performance. He went out and he beat the LA Chargers, and everyone was saying he's the next best thing. And what did they do? Last week they lost by 8 points to the New Orleans Saints, who to that point had not won a game yet. So who is Jackson Dart really? They don't have Malik Neighbors. I get they're at home. But the Giants are 2-8 in their last 10 games, 4-6 against the spread, and now they face a Philadelphia Eagles team that they have not beat since January of 2024. They lost last season 20-13 and 28-3. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be angry. I do not foresee them losing back-to-back games, and I think they cover here. I think Saquon Barkley has a big game. I think he's going to play angry. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Philadelphia Eagles to cover on the spread, -7 for -115. Shifting to baseball, we've got a big game for tonight between another Philadelphia team, taking 2 Philadelphia teams today. Always sunny in Philadelphia, even though both the teams are on the road. Give me the Philadelphia Phillies on the money line for +110. The Dodgers lead this series 2-1. Philadelphia had a huge win last night, 8-2. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper sort of busted out of their shell because that offense had not been very good. In the first few games of this series, Turner, Harper, and Schwarber had a combined 2 for 21 with only 1 RBI and 11 strikeouts. However, in the Phillies' 8-2 victory in Game 3 on Wednesday, they combined for 7 hits, 5 RBIs, and 4 runs. Kyle Schwarber hit a pair of bombs, including a game-tying 455-foot blast in the 4th inning. So now you have the Phillies, who, keep in mind, were better than the Dodgers during the regular season. And I know they're on the road today, but this series just has always felt like it was going to go 5 games. That, to me, is just, it's always had that feel. The Phillies will start left-hander Christopher Sanchez on 4 days rest. The Dodgers are going with Tyler Glasnow. It's his first start of the postseason, so that worries me a little bit if I'm on the Dodgers side. Sanchez had 5 scoreless innings in Game 1, before the Dodgers scored 2 runs off him in the 6th, and added 3 more in the 7th off the bullpen. So he's already pitched against the Dodgers. Pitched pretty good. In 4 career regular season starts against the Dodgers, he's 2-0 with a 4.00 ERA. Glasnow has not started in a while. Since September 21st, he's only pitched 4 2/3 innings, including a 3-inning start against the Mariners and a 5-out relief appearance in Game 1 of this series. Didn't give up a run in either one. Now, Glasnow was pretty good during the regular season, finished 4-3 with a 3.19 ERA, but he missed 2 months of the season with shoulder inflammation. And against the Phillies, he's 1-0, but he has an ERA of 7.5 in 3 starts. They pounded him for 5 runs in 2 innings on April 6th, and he walked 5. So I look for the Philadelphia Phillies to even this series up. It's just always felt like this series was going to go 5 games, and you're getting plus money. Give me the Phillies plus 110 on the money line. It's on my Mr. Dress Up mug, if you're watching that. As I spill it everywhere. Last bet. We go to the National Hockey League. It's the first day, really, of the big slate. A whole slew of games here tonight. And in this instance, I like the Nashville Predators on the money line at home for minus 120. They're going up against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Predators were pretty disappointing last season. They are expected to start first round pick, 5th overall, Brady Martin, who's projected to be on the top line with Philip Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly. So no pressure. No pressure. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think he should be pretty good. Predators looking to bounce back from a disappointing 24-25 season. They made a splash in the free agent market with players like Steven Stamkos. They lost their first 5 games and did not even really come close. And now the Columbus Blue Jackets come into this season as one of the youngest teams in the league. Their average of 27 is tied for 6th youngest. So that's tough. And so they could have a rocky start to the season as well. I think the goaltending is just a little bit better there for the Nashville Predators. I assume Saros will get the nod tonight. Saros is great. Ended last season great. And I expect him to do the same. Columbus a little bit shaky, depending on who gets the start. They did not finish the season so great there. So that is my hockey bet for today. I'm excited to see a full slate of games. I'm excited to see Brady Martin in his first start on a line with 2 absolute studs. So the Philadelphia Eagles -7, the Philadelphia Phillies on the money line plus 110, and the Nashville Predators -120. You can follow me across all my social channels at Tyler Conium and at Tyler Conium Bets on Instagram. And if you want to see all my picks and props, bettingpros.com/u/Tyler Conium. That's all linked below. All my picks are posted free. And I'm sure we'll have some more stuff going on throughout the day. So, go Jays, go. And find me on socials, and let's talk some sports.